We would like to thank your sponsor, Valley First, a division of First West Credit Union and a member-owned financial cooperative serving the Okanagan, Similkameen, and Thompson regions. They offer a wide range of banking and investment services for individuals and families. Valley First also has a talented business and commercial team to provide the expertise, products, and services local businesses need to grow and thrive.
Welcome to another episode of Business Matters presented by Valley First, a division of First West Credit Union, where we delve into the stories and insights of leaders and change makers in our community. I'm your host, Rob Capello, and today we're joined by Samantha Wedlund, owner and manager at Success 21 Salon. Samantha, thank you for joining me today.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So, Samantha, your journey from your home country to Canada is a story, I think, of determination, resiliency, and pursuit of really of a dream, what you're looking at. So I'm excited to sort of jump into your journey and talk about your trip here and why you moved to Canada and so in the salon and so forth. So I want to start to talk a little bit about you. I saw when I was reading that you decided to leave Jamaica for Canada. I'm curious, like, what if you kind of take us back, why that decision and how that journey maybe influenced your career path to where you are today?
Absolutely. Thank you. So yes, I was born and raised in Jamaica. The desire to move to a first world country kind of started with my mom. She wanted the better education for us. And she thought, okay, if you start here in Jamaica and move somewhere else in the world that has a higher education, come back, then definitely we would be like more marketable. So I'm an accountant as well. So I started in Jamaica to do my accounting degree, and that's what kind of led me into Okanagan College. They were recruiting Jamaicans and they told us it's beautiful out here, it's sunny. Well, they forgot to say only 4 months, but that's okay. So so that kind of helps me to say, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go to Canada. I'm gonna launch my career, continue education and stuff like that.
So did your entire family move, or just like who came to Canada?
Just me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm the first of 5. So my mom wanted to be a good foundation for the other siblings. So I had to take the chance on myself, and with her coaching and support, it really helped me to move here by myself.
Has any of the family moved since, or are they all still in Jamaica?
No, absolutely. So ever since I moved here, I spent a year on my own trying to figure out stuff and everything. And then my sister, who had turned 17, because we are all, like, she's 5 years older or younger than I am. So she was turning, I was like, okay, it's time for her to come. So she came to the college as well. And she's like, oh my God, like, you were not downplaying it. It's cold. It's like we're walking inside. Like, open the fridge, come into the freezer. So that was a shock factor. And then after that, my other sister, she's also a mechanical engineer. She's in Alberta now. She came to school as well, finished her degree, and moved out to Alberta to go face more cold. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But and then one more sibling who is in school right now, and she's taking computer science.
Amazing.
So 4.
Yeah, all made it to the cold.
Yes.
So
yes.
You come to Canada, you went to Okanagan College, you're an accountant by trade. So where did the connection come to fashion and hairstyle, and like how did that all come together then?
So being raised in Jamaica, you can be a professional, but you also have to have a skill. That's sort of embedded in our education. So when I told my mom I wanted to do cosmetology, I said, okay, that's great, but that's not a real career. So how about you become a math tutor or an accountant, and then maybe do the cosmetology as a minor. So that's kind of what. And then after I graduated from the university in Jamaica, I stayed with one of my friends. She has a salon. So I kind of got more nurturing through that. And then, of course, I was always doing families and friends' hair. So it kind of helped me to become faster, braider, and just a good cosmetology student overall.
So when did that, like, what inspired you to start your business? Like, where did that spark come from? What were you doing where, like, I'm going to go do this myself. I'm going to go off and do this on my own.
So what happened was I had my when I moved here, I was kind of like looking for a job opportunity. I didn't really find one initially that I was like passionate about. I was working like a little bit here and there all over the place, but then I was doing clients from my home, and a stylist from another salon saw my work and she was interested in meeting me, and that's how I actually started in a salon here. So she hired me. I'm just gonna plug this in. Sorry, there we go. So she hired me, and then I worked with them for 3 to 5 years in Kelowna and Vernon, and yeah, it's been a good journey. It was really hard because I was also still doing school, and then I was like, this is too much. It's became a burnout scenario because I also had two other jobs to be able to afford the semester um tuitions. And then after doing that for 5 years, I was like, I want a complete switch. So I went back into doing auditing and some customer service job, and then got married, got pregnant, invited our first child into the world.
Yeah.
Had really bad postpartum, and because I was at home and not doing anything, I'm always on the go. So not being on the go all the time kind of, I guess, hit me in a way that I've never realized. And I was like, okay, we're broke. We need money. What do I have that I can turn into gold? So it was gonna be bookkeeping or hairstyling, and I opened up my little bedroom apartment,
Yeah.
and I started inviting friends again, and I started there until it was becoming too much traffic, and because of city bylaws, I was like, hey, this is not gonna work. Uh, right. So I
Yeah.
went into a townhouse, and that was good. I stayed in the townhouse for a year until I realized this is getting bigger. And then that's when I went into the basement. And into the basement, we had 3 chairs. It was good. It was good zoning. Everything was perfect. I had another stylist with me, and COVID happened.
Mm,
Everything got shut down again.
yeah.
I went back into accounting
Oh, wow.
for 3 months. Yes. And then after 3 months, I said, okay, I'm gonna look for a commercial space because I feel right about it. Feels like it's time to jump. I've done 4 years internally. Um, let's get out there. Let's put myself out there. So that's kind of how it started. And I went to the mall, and I was renting a chair in the mall, honestly,
Got it.
from owners there. And then they decided they wanted to leave, and I was like, oh my god, how are you gonna leave? And I just joined like 3 to 4 months ago, and I was kind of like in a panic mode. And I offered to take over the space. I offered to buy them out of the capital and stuff. And they were really supportive with that. So that was nice. And then I also had a baby on the way.
Oh
So
my
that was a little bit of, I was like, okay, this gets better and better and better. So I had a baby on the way, and I then had to get a team involved. And yeah, we're doing really good. We're growing. Um, Everything's education for me. I'm always learning more stuff. I'm always taking on a new challenge for the extensions and stuff. So it's been good.
What a story. That's amazing. So I'm curious, like, so starting a business in a new country has to be challenging, period. And it sounds like you face like lots of roadblocks, but you got through it. But what are some of the, like, from just starting a business, coming from Jamaica, coming to Canada, starting a business, what are some of the challenges outside of, like, it sounds like life happened, you got pregnant,
Yeah.
things you couldn't control, but what are some of the challenges that you face starting your business?
Initially just the mentorship. I didn't have anyone that I could turn to and ask for
Okay.
any guide. So I went in a lot of circles
Right.
for far too long. Also like financially. The reason I actually started my own is because I'm like, there's no way I can afford life just working 3 jobs, and it just didn't make sense anymore. So not understanding the banking system enough to ask for the capitals or grants or any support like that. I know there are organizations out there, but not being able to turn to them because I've never started a business in
Yeah.
Canada. So like, I was like, okay, how do I do this? Hmm, let's read a book. But books are limited to like the region and stuff. So and then I found also just I guess in a way, like, you kind of have to put yourself out there. And that's where I started doing lots of networking. So if no one knows you really, like, how are they going to support you? So
Uh-huh.
being brave enough to step out of my circle and saying, okay, I do Caucasian hair as well. I do my Jamaican, I do African, I do Afro, but I also wanted to embrace the community and the culture that Kelowna does have.
Fair enough. Interesting. So what's the significance of the name Success 21? Like how did you come up with the name?
My journey through Jamaica to come to Canada, I've taken the buses, and I think maybe 3 or more buses had labeled 21. It was
Oh,
just a route 21. So I was like, okay, 21. And then my application form, there's always like 21 just highlighted in all my numbers. I'm a numeric person. I'm an accountant for crying out loud.
I love it.
Right. So I was like curious. I was like, what is 21? It keeps showing up. And every time I went into a situation where it seemed like it was not going to be like positive, I would see 21 highlighted in front of me. I was like, okay, what is that number? And I would research it. And it's literally 3 times 7, which is power times perfection. And it's 21 means success. So I just took it as, if I'm going through something really hard and I saw 21 anywhere, I'm like, I'm good. I just close my eyes and focus on that success.
Love it. I love it. That's awesome. So when I was reading, I think the salon is described as more than just a salon. I think the words like a journey into self-discovery was like it's on the website. So what does that mean, and how do you contribute to self-discovery through a salon? Like how do those two intersect?
Yes, thank you. That's a really good one. For myself, growing up in Jamaica, I didn't consider myself beautiful. And now beauty is not meaning like definite like features or anything. It can be a personality, a character, your spirit, your kindness. So I wanted to do more than just making your hair a certain way and telling you that you're beautiful because your hair is beautiful. So when we get our clients in, and we have clients of every different walk of life, and most of them that are attracted to us, it's because of our spirit, because we're gentle, we really are kind, we do love our clients, and we do really want the best for each client. And whenever we do the hair, it's not just a number to us. It's almost like we slow everything down to hear them, and we make sure that they know that we're present. So each person's beauty is highlighted through their conversation. I find when I open up my world, they open up their world, and I can see so much more like um beauty that they wouldn't show to everyone. You know what I mean? Like no matter how hard someone has gone through their life, like there's something that is a spark in each person. So we try to highlight that in every person, and I think beauty comes through your spirit, really.
Love it. And on that vein, I saw that you're known for empowering clients. Like I think you refer to women as queens and men as kings. And
Yes.
so how do you create that experience for clients? And I think you've touched on a little bit, but how do you create that differently from if I went somewhere else, like a competitor?
Absolutely. I love that. So, I think it's more the personal, just making sure that I'm present to that person, making sure that I listen attentively, and I do definitely give if they ask for my opinion, I give my honest feedback. It's not just about the oh, sorry, I thought that last there. Sorry. It's not just about the transaction. It's
Right.
about the interaction, um, making sure that the person feels heard. My service, I try to go above and beyond. So if I also give, like, it sounds silly, but I also give each person like a time frame. I say, okay, if what I did today did not meet the expectation that we were hoping to achieve, I'm open to correction, and you can come and see me within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
That to me makes the person feel like, okay, good. So I'm in great hands. I kind of just try to go above and beyond what a normal hairstylist would do. And another way I kind of try to maintain like the culture of making each person feel like significant is um seeing if I can collaborate, seeing if that person has a structural business stuff or personal stuff that I can help to empower that person at wherever level they're at. And I think each person, honestly, if we can see the gold in each person, not only can they feel the empowerment, but they can actually birth what they're supposed to do on earth.
That's great. And on that path, I see that you have a passion for educating like aspiring stylists as well. You have an education component. How does that fit into the business model? Like how do you find the time to like do the training side with your, and then the second part of that question is like, what are you hoping to inspire and instill in up and coming stylists?
Yes. On that note, I do have a class coming up in mid-February, which is super
Perfect.
close.
Good time.
Yes, it was supposed to be done last year, but honestly, Salon has gotten so busy, and I'm so thankful that I had to say no until next year. So I do have a few students waiting for me. They're like, okay, is it this weekend? Is it next weekend? Like, be calm. I'm gonna get to it. I love empowering people. When I became pregnant and I became a mom the first time and going through that postpartum, I didn't have a lot of I first of all, I wasn't very open about it. I was
Right.
kind of more sheltered in it. I didn't want anybody to know I was facing a challenge like this. So I kept it to myself, which was not, it's never really good. And that's why I try to see where people are at and try to be at their level and understand them and help them to be elevated into the next level. Because had I started earlier and had I known how to break that healing earlier, I would have been I think better in the other pregnancies. You know what I mean? Like if you don't deal with something that happens when it happens, sometimes you can linger too long to that season. So I kind of wanted to make sure that every woman on earth knows that there is a way out of financial constraints. There's a way out of any sort of neglect or anything that's dissatisfactory in your life. And money can be one of those things because, like it's
Absolutely.
everywhere is hard. It can get hard. And if you know how to create a skill or to learn a skill and to empower yourself to be financially strong, that's where I want to be. That's where I want to take women from point A to point wherever it can go. And whether it's a woman changing her career or someone who's just from out of school, I kind of want to be that voice because that voice wasn't very loud for me growing up, and I want to be that voice loud enough for any woman or man who is going through something like that. In order to shorten that season, not that you won't go through your process, but in order to help you say, like, you don't have to go through it for years. You can go through it maybe for months.
Interesting. I love that. And on that, I see that, your hard work's paid off and that you were recently honored with a couple of awards. I think it's Extension Specialist and Hair Replacement Specialist for 2023. So what do things like that, like what do awards like that mean to you? Because I know it's not, you don't do your business because you want to get awards, but what do they mean to you when your peers recognize you and things like that?
Thank you. It validates that what I'm doing is working, and it builds integrity to what we're doing, which I really love. Growing up, my mom wanted me to be a top student in school. So, right, my mom is like, she's a woman. Like, you got to be number one. And it's not against community or society, it's about yourself. Like,
Right.
if you put your best self forward, you will be number one in yourself because you're showing up authentically, right? And integrally. So getting those awards, I was like, oh my God, the community feels us. They realize that we're here because it's been a minute. It's been 7 years. So and being an introvert, I'm really an introvert. People are like, really? I'm like, yes, I'm really quiet. I'm very shy. But I do want to be like that bolder personality. And I do take that on sometimes. All right. So getting those awards really helped my team to say, okay, we're making a difference. The community is feeling us. So we want to make bigger impacts. And yeah,
Love
we're
it.
hoping to.
What um what motivates you? What gets you up in the morning to do what you do? Where's the passion come from? Like because I know it's not easy being a business owner. There's days I'm sure that you're like, what am I doing? But you keep going. So what motivates you? What keeps you drives?
The Holy Spirit. So I call my inner voice the Holy Spirit. I find that when you quiet your mind and make it quieter, like what people are saying about you, you can actually hear what's internally coming up for you. And that's usually the guide that leads you into success. I am a mom of three, so I have to be financially stable as well. So that goes like my kids, when they look happy, when they're fulfilled, when they're fed, when they get the tiniest thing and they're like, Mom, I love you. Like that really hits me, you know? So I want to be here for them. I want to be my best self for me. And then for them, my husband as well, like having his support in life is definitely a blessing. And, you know, like we have a small family, but it's so busy that you have to almost like schedule every tiny thing for it to make it work. But definitely the Holy Spirit, that internal voice that says, you are enough, you can do this, people need your voice, people need you, people love you, and you have the heart to love more than just yourself. So,
Love
yeah.
it. So what's the future have in store for Success 21? Like where do you, if you look 5 years down the road, do you have more locations? Do you have more training school? Like what's the vision for you?
Yes. So right now we are planning to open a school where we can teach the braid skills and beyond to our culture, to our community. I want to do it outside of Kelowna. And then we're gonna look at opening another store.
There's a lot on your plate coming up.
Yes.
But it looks like you're inspired and excited about it, which is the most
Yes.
important part.
Thank you. Yeah, I've rested for a while. So I'm like, okay, I feel really let's walk. And I've been walking for a while and I feel like, okay, let's fly a little.
Love
And
it.
I've got a great team, so I'm thankful.
So this is the final and probably the most important question. What do you recommend for a hairstyle like mine?
Come see me, I've got you covered.
I've always wanted a little afro, so
Do it. Do it. Get a book about it.
awesome. Well, Samantha, thank you for spending some time with me. I think it's a truly inspiring story, I think. And I love you have a real innovative approach to beauty and self-expression. Like some of the stuff we're talking about, you don't typically hear at a salon. And I love that. Yeah, I think that your life path took you in this direction for a reason. So I think that when you pursue your passions, and I think that you make a difference. I mean, you make a difference in yourself and byproduct in your community. So thank you for spending some time and talking about your journey this morning. I loved it.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. And if you enjoyed today's episode, we encourage you to share it with your friends so we can spread the word for inspiring stories like Samantha. So until next time, thank you for tuning into Business Matters and have a great day. Thanks, Samantha. I really appreciate it. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We would like to thank your sponsor, Valley First, a division of First West Credit Union and a member-owned financial cooperative serving the Okanagan, Similkameen, and Thompson regions. They offer a wide range of banking and investment services for individuals and families. Valley First also has a talented business and commercial team to provide the expertise, products, and services local businesses need to grow and thrive.